Hey guys, this is Drew coming at you again with another blog post about healthful living. And this is kind of a follow-up to the last blog that I did about Matt Stoney eating the 50 pork-filled egg rolls and, a way that we can actually be healthy on the inside and feel good about ourselves and have good health and good weight management. Many of you watched that video, I think about 14,000 of you so far. And I'm hoping that this will be a good follow-up to that. Many people feel that they have to do these extreme diets. I had a coworker who, around the middle of May, said, I don't want a healthful lifestyle. I don't have time for that. She said, I need to lose weight now. I need to lose 21 pounds in 21 days. And I bet you can imagine what happened is she didn't make it very far. She lost maybe 2 pounds and then got discouraged and probably didn't continue. I don't think she did. But, we can look at just the basics of life to learn how to be healthy. And it doesn't need to take a long time. It doesn't need to take a lot of effort. Actually, I would propose to you that we can actually be in excellent health without even realizing it, without even feeling like we're doing anything different. And some of you might say, that's impossible. But allow me to use the illustration of money to illustrate this point, because as I've studied and thought about health in my own life, I've learned that there's a lot of comparisons with money and with health. I was watching a video by Dave Ramsey, who's a Bible-based financial advisor, and Dave was talking about the fact that anyone living in America, if they just followed basic principles, could retire a millionaire. And that piqued my interest. And as I watched the video, he explained that most of us, nearly every one of us, can find $100 somewhere. We spend $100 buying coffee, renting movies, going out to eat more times than we really need when we already have a fridge full of food. Things like this. Spending more on clothes than we really need. And he suggested and showed mathematically that if from the age of 25 until retirement age, all you did was invest in a mutual fund at an average rate of 12%, just $100 a month, amount of money that we wouldn't even notice was missing, we would retire with over $1 million. And that's if we did nothing else, if we didn't have any raises or pay off expenses that helped us to invest more money, we would make that much. And as I got to thinking about it, I realized that the same thing applies to our health. You see, we spend only about maybe 10% of our day eating. We spend 40% sleeping, and about 50% of our day actually being active and doing things. That right there teaches us that if we just focus all of our efforts on being very active, getting adequate rest, and don't spend a whole lot of our energy eating or thinking about food, that alone would do wonders for getting us into good health. Really, all the main research shows that in order to be healthy, we shouldn't lose more than about a pound a week or 4 pounds a month. And what I've discovered is if we would simply, follow me here, if we would simply walk a mile a day, just a mile a day, that burns approximately 100 calories. There's losing weight on the positive end, which is actually actively doing something. And then instead of counting calories, because I'm not a big fan of that, I think it's too time consuming and it's very difficult to know exactly how many calories are in everything. But if we would simply stop ourselves from eating when we're about 60 to 75% of full, that right there would bring us to probably about 100 calories, maybe a little more, less on the eating end, which would be 200 calories a day. those are calories that we wouldn't even notice are missing. We're not running intensely. We're not doing all this crazy exercise. We're just simply walking an enjoyable mile, maybe with our family or friends, and we're just simply eating the same foods, but just stopping ourselves at 75% of full. That alone would cause us to lose about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds every single month if we just did that. Now, if you want to add in some weight training, I love working out with kettlebells. If you add that in, you'll probably bump that up to 2 pounds a month. Also, maybe even more than that. If you like to run or jump rope or play basketball or sports or even walk a golf course, you're going to add more calorie burning to that. Now, some people say, well, I need to lose weight even faster. Well, in this blog, this is a biblical-based blog, and I'm showing you a balanced way to do it. But the Bible teaches that we should periodically fast. It helps us to show commitment to God and to really dedicate ourselves to His service. But fasting, if we just did a water fast once a week in addition to these things at first, maybe for the first month, that would probably, with the exercise, add you an extra 2,500 calories approximately that you would be shedding in those fast days. And with a little bit of discipline to make sure that we don't overeat on the other days, we would probably lose 4 to 6 pounds per month, and it really wouldn't be much effort at all. So, what are some of the things that we can do to ensure that we're not going to overeat? Well, one of the things is just paying attention to your eating and chewing slowly. If you chew slowly, it will give your body time to start registering that it's full. You'll enjoy the food better. And really, you don't have to eat really fast to enjoy your meal. If you eat just slowly, enjoying the conversation, you'll actually have more time with the food and enjoy it longer. Another thing that we can do is simply eat whole foods in an unprocessed or as much unprocessed state as possible, whole. I like smoothies. I eat them as a supplement to get more fruits and veggies in me, but if you notice, it's a lot easier to eat 4 or 5 apples and bananas with a smoothie than it is in a whole food state. And just the natural way that God designed things, He made it so that it would take us time so that we wouldn't overeat and that we wouldn't get too many fruit juices and sugars that cause us to gain weight. Another thing is no snacking in between meals, period. None. That means no juice, no coffee, no sodas, not a little bit of nuts or a few M&Ms. A little bit goes a long way. I was talking recently to a guy that came out to fix my washing machine, and he said that just in the washing machines and dryers that were turned into him, the amount of change that he pulled out of there added up to about $75, and he was able to buy food for his whole office just based on the little bit here and there that people lost in the drying machine. The reason that people all of a sudden feel, I can't believe I've gained this much weight, I don't even know how it happened. The reason that this happened is because of the little bit here and there in between meals. And it adds on maybe 0.5 pound a month, maybe 1 pound a month, and after 3 or 4 years, you're 50 pounds heavier and you don't even know how it happened. Well, the same thing happens with losing weight, but praise be to God, He enabled us to lose weight far faster than gaining it. And so that way, even there, it encourages us. But if you will eat whole plant-based foods, cutting out the cheeses and the extra sodas and all these processed things. My brother-in-law lost 30 pounds just by cutting out Mountain Dew when he realized the amount of calories. And cutting out the fat. That alone, with chewing slowly, no snacking between meals, and stopping at 75% of full, and walking a mile a day, you will see tremendous benefits very quickly. And if you add in the weight training and a little bit more vigorous exercise, It's going to be enjoyable for you. I wouldn't recommend working out more than about 4 days a week so that you get ample rest, and you're going to see big changes. I would also recommend that every 7th day you have just a free day where you're not exercising, you're just resting. I wouldn't even do the mile walk unless you want to at a leisurely pace. And don't worry about the food that you're eating. The Bible teaches that we should have a Sabbath of rest, and it should be a feast day of enjoyment. And this is going to help you prolong and help you to continue to exercise and to eat well. And actually what you're going to find is you're going to want to eat well. Another thing that you can do is a 6-week intensive program. If you really want to go hardcore and intense, like we talked about in my other video, you can apply some of the Atkins principles into your program, and I wouldn't do it for more than about 6 weeks at a time. But you can cut down and even eliminate most carbs or all carbs for a brief period of time. You can exercise intensely. I would recommend, if you're going to do this, no added oil except what's in its natural state, like in olives or nuts. I would avoid eating high-fat foods like nuts and high-sugary foods. And you can do this for a brief period of time if you want to try to shed a few extra pounds. But I really don't think it's necessary. If you will simply follow the basic principles that I've shared in this video, you will find that without any effort at all, really, you will feel like it's effortless and you will gain weight, or you will lose weight, excuse me. Finally, I thought I would share, going back to my money illustration, just by simply having a basic budget that I'm sticking with, and also setting aside, a little bit of money from each check. For me, it's about $50 per check from each of my jobs. For me, that's an amount of money that I don't even know is missing. Probably that money is just being lost, or most of it's going to taxes. And I found that in just about 3 months of doing this, and I've asked my wife, do you even notice the money that's missing? And we both said no, we didn't even notice that it was missing. I have almost $1,000 in my portfolio, and I just started 3 months ago. And so I can't imagine what it's going to be like, as every year when I get raises, I apply a portion of that to what's being put into my portfolio and my mutual funds. And this is money that I didn't even know was missing. And if you'll do the same thing with your health, you will find tremendous results. Thank you very much. If you have questions or comments, please go to the blog and write a comment on the video, and I'll do what I can to respond to you. I can't promise I'll get to all of them, but I'll try to get to at least some of them. Thank you very much, and God bless.